Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. I am your host, Leon Jones. This evening's topic: technology is here to stay. Now, yesterday I did a video talking about texting and how texting could be a downfall of society because it really diminishes social skills. Well, texting, along with other versions of technology, are here to stay. So, how do you make it work for you? Well, it's very easy because it depends on the side that you want to be on. Do you want to be on the side of evil, or do you want to be on the side of good? Because in every society, regardless of how much technology we have, human beings create technology. So you're going to have some human beings who use the technology for good, and you're going to have some who are going to utilize it for evil. Just remember, you have two opposite sides of the same coin, and that happens with every issue. But now, with technology, the way you use it for good is you integrate it into your life, and you understand its uses, and you understand how to use it. Because technology, like I said in my title, is not going to go anywhere. It's just going to keep advancing. It's part of our lives. But the problem with technology is many of us make it our life and we forget how to be a human being. Many of us use technology to break up. Many of us use technology to rob from each other. And that's known as identity theft. I like technology. I like having a cell phone. But you have to know when to use that technology. And if you're looking for a job, everything's online now. You have to go and take different personality tests. There are more online courses for colleges that alleviates the commute time for students. So the technology right there is beneficial. But when technology goes bad, that puts a drain on society. Why? Because we tend to blame it on the technology instead of the people. Again, the technology is not harming people. It's people who are using the technology to harm people. And technology can be another tool for evil to be destructive. But the purpose of technology is to enhance and expedite tasks. Because without it, where would we be? Well, today's millennials would never know where we would be because they've grown up in technology. I mean, they're children who actually know how to utilize an iPhone better than most of the adults. But one thing that these millennials missed, a number of them don't know how to sign paperwork because they never learned cursive. A number of them have never seen a typewriter. A number of them have never seen an 8-track player, a record player, a reel-to-reel player. The laser disc, not the compact disc. The laser disc came in the 80s after vinyl, or 33 RPMs. And then that translated into compact disc or CDs. We also had the floppy disk, the 5 1/4 inch disc. Then we went to the 3 1/2 inch disc. And from there, we've utilized CDs. Now, CDs aren't being used as much. We use flash drives because they hold more memory. But that being said, those are the good aspects of technology if you understand it. But what I'm trying to mention, and shout out to you, Brother Arlo Monk, because he stole my thunder with his video. You have to be able to utilize technology for the intended purpose. And the intended purpose should not be to destroy your fellow man or fellow woman. It should be utilized to network. I mean, we have gone global. So that means you can find anything you want on the internet. If you're looking for a mate and your town is dry, you see the same people, you can utilize online dating at the correct purpose and find somebody in another city. But even though you can do that, you still have to be able to travel to the other city. You still have to have money. You still have to understand that you are a human being. And that's what I'm trying to voice when it comes to technology. Technology is not something that's living, but it's the human beings who create the technology. And if you understand that, it's going to be easier for you to understand how you can integrate the real world and technology together. Don't let technology do the thinking for you. Don't live through your PlayStation. Live in the real world, but use the technology for you to get an advantage. Understand how to use it, because it could work to your advantage. And again, technology is not bringing down any society. It's people who bring down the society with the technology. Now, when it comes to texting, I didn't say all texting was bad. I just said that too many of us hide behind it because we have agendas and we don't want to deal with the real world. We don't want to deal with conflict if somebody has an issue with us. It's a cowardly way out. That's the same way I feel about computers, social media. That's the same way I feel about tablets. We seem to live our lives through devices instead of seeing what the real world is about. And the funny thing about technology, we get news instead of 12 hours a day, it's 24 hours a day. You want to know something? You have more and more people who don't even know what's going on in the world. Why? Because they're not interested in what's going on in the world because it doesn't affect them. They're only interested in their devices. I know many people that I work with, and they can't wait to get home, to get on the computer and play games or utilize Facebook. Now that's a shame, because there's a lot that individuals could be learning when it comes to the real world. Many of us don't even know about ourselves, and we don't care to know about ourselves. Why? Because if we wanted to care about ourselves deeply, we would do more to work on ourselves, our behavior, instead of blaming others for our shortcomings. But instead, we have the victim complex. It's easy to be a victim, just like technology. It's easy to hide behind technology so you don't have to deal with the challenges of the real world. Again, technology is here to stay regardless of how we like it or not. The bottom line, are you on a side who's going to utilize it for good, or are you on a side who's going to utilize it for evil? Again, I like technology. I like computers. I like information technology, because with technology, there is information. Makes it much easier to research because I have different sources. Look at newspapers. The advent of technology allows us to read a newspaper from the internet instead of having a newspaper delivered to us, because we can see the news changing every minute with technology. We can pay our bills using technology. We can see our bank account with technology. Those are good points. But when we're using technology to commit a terrorist act, to take money from people, to destroy people's lives, that's when technology is a problem. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I want everybody to be aware of what's going on in their circle and who they're dealing with when they're using technology, because everybody who is on Facebook is not your friend. Everybody who is utilizing a cell phone is not your friend. I want people to be vigilant. I'm vigilant every day. And to be vigilant is to look at what's going on around you in the real world. Be part of the world. Interact with the real world. And when your social skills and your presentation skills are up to par, it's going to be easier for you to understand the real world. The real world. Also, you have to think straight. Utilize common sense. You don't need college degrees. You don't need certificates. You don't need credentials. What you need to do is just be vigilant. And you need to take that technology and integrate that technology into your everyday life. Again, technology is here to stay. Technology is a good tool. It's another form that we can utilize to get information. And we have lots of access out there. But the bottom line, like I said before, you have to know how to utilize the technology. And technology is going to constantly grow. Like Brother Arlo Monk said, and shout out to you, Brother Arlo Monk, for doing your video on technology. Technology is not going to go anywhere. Face the facts. And one of the big problems when it comes to this era, we have two different thought patterns because of a generational gap. We have old school who did everything via pencil and paper, and they talked about everything, and they basically had less information because most of the information was passed via word of mouth because they didn't have the technology. Then you have the newer generations who have more and more technology. They know how to troubleshoot all the devices better than the older generations, but the newer generations, they don't have any idea of how to communicate. They don't know how to write in cursive. A number of them don't even know how to write incomplete sentences or speak very well because they hide behind technology, because it is very easy to hide behind technology. You don't have to be accountable for anything if you're not out front participating in whatever is taking place. But either way, with two schools of thought, one must understand that both sides need to take technology and the real world and merge them together. If you do that, then you're going to have the information from the technological side, and you're also going to have the morals and values as well as information from the non-technical side. Either way, you want to be pragmatic about the world. You only live once, and having an understanding about the world is going to set you apart from your peers. Technology is going to be an advantage if you're one from the old school and you adjust to the technology. And it's also going to be advantages for you if you are new school and you understand how the old school works. Again, we all like technology. I just don't want people to make technology their life. Don't live in a virtual bubble. You have to take a break from social media and go out and actually see what's going on with your peers. I go to school just like other people who go to school. There's some of us who take the classes online. That's great. But you should go on to a college campus or a high school campus to interact with people. And that's really the downfall of technology. It's just taking away the personal interaction, and that's problematic. Because that personal interaction means that you can reach out and touch. This is where you can feel the vibe between you and another person. You can't do that with technology, folks. It's not possible because technology is not personal at all. It's not personable. it's a good tool to use when the time is right. But being able to interact with different people, that's a fantastic tool as well. Because it's good to be able to have face-to-face contact. I don't know how many people I have met who don't understand that having a good personality, good character, good morals and values, being polite, being able to speak properly, not being selfish, being knowledgeable with common sense and being pragmatic, having a little spirituality in you as well, that makes you a decent person. But even with those tools, you got to utilize them correctly. Technology is the same way. It's a great tool. But if it's not utilized correctly, we have a downfall in society. And this is why a number of us have the inability to communicate and we lack social skills. That's all I wanted to present. And I'm piggybacking off the video I did yesterday. And I'm also piggybacking off of Brother Arlo Monk's video. Because with the advent of technology, I don't want us to get too involved with technology where it takes over our lives. Because it is doing that. I mean, on Facebook Live, I've seen 3 murders on Facebook Live. I've seen young ladies basically stripped down naked, thinking that they're Instagram stars. I've seen people up here with the technology utilizing YouTube videos to spew their hatred. And social media is part of technology, by the way, because social media is another way we communicate. But the problem with any type of technology, again, it just disintegrates the actual person-to-person contact. And we need that. I can't show love to a computer, but I can show love to a person because I can reach out like Diana Ross sang back in 1970, reach out and touch somebody's hand. That's what you want to do. And with all this technology, it's just allowed us to sit behind a keyboard or a tablet and become cold people. We sit in the dark. And many of us, when we get into social media, take our regular lives, we put them on camera, and we think we're YouTube stars. We think we're Instagram models. Well, let me tell you something. You're not, because after your 15 to 20 minutes of fame, you go back into the real world. And many of us project our anger and our mental issues on social media, which is technology. And that's wrong. When individuals view my videos, I want them to know that they hear a positive voice. I want them to understand that the information that I am presenting to them is something that's going to help them, not hurt them. I want individuals to understand that I am confident in what I say, even if you disagree with it. Because even with technology, here's another case in point. Doesn't allow us to disagree or debate. It allows us to write hatred, or if we're on YouTube, it allows us to vent our vitriol hate for the world and for each other. And this is why I don't get into anything regarding this so-called gender war, because to me, there's no gender war out here. That's something that was conjured up. It was conjured up because one side had dictated the conversation for a long time, and then the other side had a voice, and when that voice opposed what the other side was saying, or that voice was defending its position, well, then the other side said, well, now we have a gender war, and the side who thought for a long time that they dictated everything wanted to silence the side who now has a voice. That's a cowardly way out. And they utilized social media and other aspects of technology to try to silence the side that was opposed in their point of view. And that's the problem when it comes to any technology. It doesn't teach us how to collaborate, because we basically take our emotions and put them on social media via technology, and we spew our hatred for the world. And that becomes very destructive, and it could lead to a lot of devastation. And that's the problem with any type of technology. It falls into the wrong hands. And when that happens, you have cyberbullying or cyber terrorism. So when it comes to any type of technology, certainly it is always going to be here. It is not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to keep improving. But what we have to understand as individuals is that technology should be used for the purpose of communication via Skype or IMO. And I'm talking about having teleconferences, because we now live in a global market. So many of us can't hop on a plane and go to the next country. Many of us don't even have passports, but the use of technology can actually bring the whole world closer together. But you have to remember that utilizing conference call is not the same as shaking hands, meeting face to face. You can hear voices. You can see people via video conferencing from your own cell phone if you use the applications correctly. But again, it's not the same as reaching out and touching somebody. Social skills, communication are very, very important. And without them, you're not going to understand how emotion works. You're not going to understand how affection works, because it takes touching somebody to pleasure them. You can't do that utilizing any type of social media or technology. You can get images, but images aren't the same as reaching out and touching somebody. And I want to mention that if you are looking to date somebody, make sure you're very vigilant when you meet somebody, because you have a number of people who use technology via the dating site to put information out there to deceive not only you, but children. And that's another area where technology has fallen off the deep end. It's utilized children as sex partners, sex or child pornography. That's where technology is going wrong. Now, of course, you have law enforcement who utilizes technology to try to put a stop to child pornography. But it still exists. Again, you have people who are evil, and they're utilizing it for their own benefit. And you have people who are good. The bottom line is, which side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the evil side, or do you want to be on the good side? That's for you to decide. But other than that, integrate technology into the real world. That will be your advantage. Don't live through technology, because that's going to be the downfall. Because although we have technology, you still need to have a personality. You still need people skills. You still need to know how to present information, whether it is through a speech or writing. You still need to be yourself. And last but least, you're still a human being. And you'll always be a human being until your number is called. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Halloween, Tuesday, October 31st, 2017. You can tune in to the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. I'm going to be bringing Blog Talk Radio right back to the forefront because I am through working night shift. I'm going to talk about some of these same topics that I have presented on YouTube. So if you want to be part of the show, all you have to do is call in. The call-in number is 215-383-5785. And if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now on this channel, I don't engage in debates, controversy, or emotional issues. And that's based on how you take it, because it could be emotional to you and it could be logical. But it's up to you on how you receive the information that I'm presenting. Also, I do not engage in drama or unnecessary bickering. It's counterproductive. What I'm here to do is teach. I'm giving you information that you can apply that's realistic and positive, because you need tools to understand the real world, and without information, you're going to be lost. Like technology. If you use technology in its proper form, it's going to be advantageous. If you use it wrong, you're going to defeat yourself along with other members in society. So when you have knowledge, you have power. And if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy, no bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed evening. Good night.